them times. They woke the demon up, I spend mine. It's them times. You can't put the shit back on rewind. It's them times. Out of sight, stay out of mind till them times.
So, my name is Justin, here with EJ and Mark, and we're here with the BTB podcast, also known as Breaking the Bread. So, how are y'all doing today, man?
I'm doing good, you know.
Everyone's good, everyone's blessed, everything Irie?
Kick up.
Alright. I guess it's safe to say that both of you don't really feel safe with the laws that are in place in the city. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Alright, so let's bring it to my next question then. Would you feel safer in the city if everyone was allowed to legally own a firearm and have the authorization to carry?
Yes.
Hell fucking no.
I say yes.
Hell fucking no.
I say yes.
before,
Take that risk.
anyone will be able to clap you still. Trust me.
You have my big 4/5. What do you have? You're alright.
Yeah, what are you gonna
Same
do?
way.
I don't know. But this is how crime goes from being regular crime to extreme crime. Where does the most extreme crime happen? Where you have stand your ground laws. Do you know in Texas they have a law? If you come home and you have a wife and she's fucking the next man, you can clap him, you can literally kill him, and it's not considered a crime. Bro, that's your wife, yeah, but you think the man deserves to die over, let's say, okay,
He knew what he was getting himself into.
they're giving you a reason to commit a crime. If you really think about it, what you can handle things in like judicial ways where like that type of shit is just excessive. Like, I get where you're coming from. There's lines that are crossed that maybe sometimes shouldn't be crossed, and there's sometimes lines that need to be more crossed, if you get what I mean. But if you look at it overall, there's some stupid shit that happens. When you have stand your ground laws, you can protect yourself under any means.
That's what I'm saying. If every man had their strap, there's no need, because
Niggas would be excessive with it, bro. You can't even watch that.
Well, think about it. If
Anybody
people
would want to fucking clap at you.
Before we get into this, I just want to put it into perspective, because like some people may be like, well, we already have like a gun violence problem in the city of Toronto. Why would we want to legalize firearms? Let's take the van attack for example, and rest in peace to all those that have been affected and lost their lives in that attack. But if there was a civilian that was on Yonge Street that had a firearm on them, and they seen some guy driving down the street trying to hit people and everything like that, don't you think that, hey, any regular civilian that would be like, hey, this guy's doing wrong, let me take action to my own hands. Boom.
Okay.
Clap him in his head one time, he crashed a van, yes, you may still have casualties, but at least he's not going all the way down
Let me
the
counteract
street.
that argument with this. Let's say you give half the population a gun. It doesn't change anything. Do you think every single person carrying a gun has the ability to take that gun, cock it, point it at that driver, and hit him and not hit someone else?
That's why there's that testing though.
I'm telling you right now.
No, maybe
if it came to their life,
cool.
If it came to everybody's life, I'm telling you right now, we all have that instinct to protect ourselves when we feel threatened. True or not? If someone's trying to attack you, you're gonna defend yourself by
you're
any
speaking
means.
about a vehicle.
But I'll take it in though.
I'm talking about.
I think you could pick a better situation that New Zealand showed.
I'll give you a better situation. I'll give you the same situation. You know, the reason why is because if half the population have guns, it's not just one person shooting at that van. If other people are seeing that van coming towards them, they're gonna be, oh shit, this van's coming. Oh, what am I gonna do? How do I stop it? Let me like stop this van. Pop a tire, shoot at the glass, try and hit him. It's not one person shooting it. I guess we all play Call of Duty, right? Imagine you're ready into a room and 3 people are shooting you. One from the front, one from the left, one from the right. Are you not gonna get hit?
You're gonna get no matter what.
But that's not to say you can't shoot your teammate in Call of Duty. You can shoot your teammate in real life. That's not to say you can't hit an innocent bystander. And that's the territory you're going down, right? And even with that, you gotta have a whole new set of laws that govern guns.
There's still legal firearms. There's a RCMP firearm program.
You can have high caliber guns.
You can still have rifles though.
You cannot. You can carry rifles, but you cannot carry automatic weapons.
There's never going to be automatic weapons in Canada. But
It's a hunting rifle.
But it's still
You can carry a hunting rifle. You can.
It all depends on the caliber though. You gotta remember.
You can't go and get an AK-47.
No, because that's automatic. But there's still going to be modifications, and there's still other firearms that are still capable of high damage. with hunting rifles, for example. You get like a high caliber hunting rifle, which are legal. Yeah, like the guns for like deer and shit like that. You can't throw in their head, like they're gonna catch it. You're still able to legally have like firearms, like handguns that are like 45 caliber or like 40 cal, 9mm, and these are still legally available when you go to the gun ranges or the gun stores in the city. If everyone was trained properly, like we see how a military, how they're trained to like maneuver and use these firearms in certain situations. If we had specific training in place, similar to like the music classes or the gym classes, don't you think that we'll be a safer place?
No.
You look at the states and you don't have everyone shooting each other every single day. Yes, there's some messed up things because of some states and their laws. But regardless though, knowing that everyone, well not everyone, but a lot of people could have firearms in the United States, and seeing how half their population still is like shot up from firearms. It worked for them, and to an extent, why wouldn't it work here for us?
Okay, so here's the thing with a lot of firearms in America. A lot of firearms in America are obtained illegally. A lot of firearms that are carried, a lot of the firearms even for crime.
A lot of those people are people that are buying at Walmart. Look at some of those mass shootings. Those guys, they legally bought their guns like days before. Just walked in. Hey guys, yeah, I want to get an AR-15. Oh, you want an AR-15? All right, cool. Okay, you want? How do you want? Oh, just like a couple of boxes. I got a 40 cal already at home.
What constitutes you being allowed to carry a gun in Canada?
To be able to carry a gun, you have to go through the 2-day program, and you have to get cleared by the RCMP. It's not like a Toronto police. It's not like it's a Peel region. No, it's RCMP that governs that program. And if your job requires you to walk with a firearm, then you get something called an ATC, where you can have that firearm with you pretty much at all times. So like private investigators, for example, they'll have like ATCs. Bodyguards, like what celebrities have, they'll have ATCs because they're protecting celebrities. The people that Secret Service, they have ATCs. Who knows when they're gonna need their straps? But it probably does cost a pretty penny.
It does cost a pretty
because even for the people that legally own guns, because like when you go through the course, they tell you about this. The people that legally own guns, when they go and sell their guns, because mind you, legal handguns, they're like less than 7 bills. You get like Glocks and stuff like that, 5 bills, 6 bills, whatever. But when they go and they flip those though, they get them you can flip that at a higher rate. But also at the same time though, those guys, they have the risk of getting charged and even jailed for like careless storage, improper use and things like that. So
you can, if you really want a strap, you could 3D print a strap.
Exactly. We have the technology now, So you mean to tell me that some of these border people, especially when there's heavy organized crime, and maybe we could hear a little bit of Mark from this too. If there's heavy organized crime, I mean that crime that they're moving like maybe like 100,000s or more within like a week or so. You don't think that they'll be able to pay off a network of people to be able to flush their stuff through, so that if banning them is not gonna make a big difference?
My main goal, if I was able to really combat this, I'd go after the people smuggling guns. Like, it's as simple as that. Put your dollars.
It goes back, but
legalize the shit, bro.
Nah, here's the thing. You gotta go and attack the real issue. The issue is how are guns getting in the city?
But that's the next thing that. Remember how earlier you guys were talking about how like there's good cops and dirty cops?
Thank you.
They're still the same at the border. If like, I'm not saying that all border people are shady, but let's say that you work at the border, all right? Let's say that I'm like some gun smuggler or something like that, and I said that I'm gonna wire you like 20K just to let me go through the border. Don't search my whip. Don't roll the dogs up. You mean to tell me you're gonna say no to that 20K?
Yeah, I'm focused.
Knowing that 20K can help your family and things like that?
Set up. There's only so many connections from the U.S. to Canada.
Of course.
And there's a couple of illegal ones through Alberta and all that.
Yeah.
But we're talking long talk there. We're talking about immediate stuff coming from Buffalo and Detroit. How do you prevent that type of stuff? If you really wanted, you could really surveil what's happening in those border spots. Like,
our cops gonna give up each other though.
No, they're not.
They're gonna all protect each other.
Remember, like they want to call us
if
again.
the police is a game, but the government is its own game. If I'm that, you could send ceases.
You think the police are gonna snitch on each other? Remember, they're a gang.
But see, you could send in ceases. You could send in something different. You don't gotta go with border patrol. You can send in army. I don't know what you would use to really disable that. But you could disable it. If that was really the prerogative, I feel if you really wanted to end gun violence specifically, you gotta target the people bringing in the guns, man.
Well, that's to show you how the government controls shit.
Yeah, supply and demand.
Yo, listen, they know there's a fucking uprising of guns, right? They could do whatever they want to lock off shit, but guess what? It's a money fucking shit for them, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you have to pray like that. You know what I mean?
And that's how they also get to govern the city however they want. Like, the police do whatever the fuck they want now because, there's high rising gun violence. But why the fuck are you putting money into more patrolling when you could just get into the root cause of it? Like, anybody who has sense can be like,
but it's all a money scheme, and it all organized and runs in a circle.
I don't even think. Sometimes I'd be thinking like, yeah, these people be plotting, but sometimes the system's just that stupid. I really think the system's just that stupid. Like, it's really hard to change shit.
They're not that dumb. Look before our times, bro. Look at before our times. Or before our parents' times, before our parents' times, bro. The shit has been going on, bro. Not as much, not as bad as it is now. But I'm telling you right now, even back in the 60s, mans were still getting shot. You know what I mean? In Canada. Yeah. Back in the 70s, mans were still getting shot. That's when the whole crack epidemic was going on, right? From in the States, 70s, 80s. Remember, that shit worked up here, right? You have to all think about that. Remember, we're our own country, but
that's not my point. I'd much rather have a year of 20 murders with a gun than 100.
That will never happen. I'm telling you that right now. That will never happen. Why? Because they can make money off of it. They make money off of this. I'm telling you right now. All the budgets that the police officers get is because of this.
Yeah, definitely.
And what do they do? And what do they do for it? They don't show no improvement of what the money's going into, do they? But yet it's the same thing, but even worse. This year could be all 60, next year could be 90. The year after that could be 120. But yet they still get the budget for stopping the gun violence, this and that, and nothing changed. People still get shot, people are still dying, while they still get richer and all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, think about it. Think about it, real talks. Look at the year of the gun. How much money? Remember, like you said, that was the year when you were growing up. There was lots of programs going on for you, right? Mm-hmm. And then after that, they took away that shit. Why? Because that shit because what? All the gun violence cooled down.
Exactly, that's
it cooled down. So guess what?
But we're
gonna lock off certain programs now because certain shit like that's not wanted. Now what? We're in 2019, right? They're trying to say this is the second year of gun violence. Now what do you see that's going on? Drinks making a friggin' OVO ballpark for the youths, right? To get the youths off the streets.
But they're not gonna be off.
You see, city council now are gonna open up more programs out in Rexdale, out in downtown, out in Scarborough, out in North York. You know what I mean?
But they should. I don't get it.
It took them that long to realize to open up more programs. From my generation, I've been saying open up more programs.
And this is another episode of Breaking the Bread with BTB. People have the power. It all depends on how we use it. And we can reach out to you through the phones, through the computer, but just remember every day that you have the power to make a difference and stand up for what you believe in. So if there's something that you don't like in the city, something you don't like in your community, just remember you have the resources to step out there and do it. It's not only about like tweeting and all this other shit. Like, get out there and do something, you know what I mean?
Don't know, 1, 2, yeah?
1, 2, great drip.
This guy was a curry drip,
yeah. General smoke.
Nigga, choose your life, cause shit's life. No price words. Giving up your life is damn time. I've seen it all, I've seen this shit already. Don't tempt me. Some going hard, some nigga turn spaghetti. They ain't ready. I'm Dolo, I don't need no one to defend me.